Okay, y'all, let's talk about this situation. Yes, I'm in my jammies. Yes, they're Christmas jammies. Yes, it's April, okay? It's the end of a night, and in real time, truth, if you're watching this, you know, and if you live in Washington, you know that our governor just declared that kids are not going back to school. Now, I was gonna make this video in daylight tomorrow in pretty lighting, but in light of the fact that my kids are not going back to school, if ever, we're making a cocktail tonight. Tonight, in all the ugly lighting, with my glasses on so I can read. I need it now. Now here's the cool thing about April. April is rhubarb season. Yay! And that means that one of my most favorite drinks is ready to be made. I am talking about the delight that is sweet and sour. Lemon and rhubarb and sugar go so well together, it's not even funny. I always make this cocktail for Easter because it's just at the start of rhubarb season. And it's so beautiful because it's a gorgeous pink color and it meets all of those palate needs. Actually, we're gonna make it in 3 ways. First, we're gonna be making a rhubarb simple syrup. Simple syrups are so easy and they're such an easy way to make any kind of add-in liquor really special and fun. Simple syrups can be made with all sorts of different ingredients to change the flavor. So you can do orange peels, you can do rhubarb like we're gonna do today, you can do rosemary. I usually do rosemary during the holidays to add into different cocktails. So I usually have simple syrup on hand all the time in our bar. We'll be adding our simple syrup to for a mocktail version, we're gonna add it just to a lemon seltzer water with a squeeze of lemon. Really refreshing, very fun. The cocktail version that we're gonna do is made with gin. So my favorite gin is Hendrick's. I do love it so. And so we're going to make a gin cocktail using iced gin, lemon, and our rhubarb simple syrup. And then we're gonna elevate it a little bit. So this is gonna be made 2 different ways. I'm taking some inspiration from my good friend Ashley Rodriguez, who wrote 2 cookbooks, but one of them is Date Night In, where she has this beautiful rhubarb sour. So I'm gonna sort of take some inspiration from this, but also she does our cooking classes for Social Creative. She does our Cooking Elevated workshop series. And for one of the classes, she taught us how to elevate that by charring the rhubarb. She is all about cooking over the fire, and I can't agree more when it comes to... I'm going to show you some of the materials that we are going to be working with. So again, I told you for our cocktail version, we're going to be using Hendrick's gin. It's so much more fancy to drink out of this than it is to drink out of this. But don't get me wrong, I drink out of all of these. Actually, I'll drink out of a Dixie cup. Truthfully, tonight I will drink out of a Dixie cup if I need to. It's that kind of a night. So here's that fancy seltzer water. You know, we're going to the grocery store every so often. Couldn't get LaCroix or anything fancy like that. So we're going to be using this to squeeze our lemon. But again, you can just squeeze it with your hand. Here's our rhubarb stalks. So it is in season right now, and you probably have it shooting up in your garden. Lucky you if you do. My rhubarb are just tiny little stalks. So if you have it growing in your garden, I checked with my sister who has it growing, and hers weren't longer than 9 inches right now. And in order to cut, it needs to be long enough to leave a base. So if you have frozen rhubarb that you froze from last season, you can use that too, because we're just going to be throwing it into water and in getting those flavors to come together. So also some items to have when you're making simple syrup, you can think of some additional enhancements that you can do to your simple syrup. Here I have some vanilla beans. I'm gonna actually take the pods out. Actually, I'm just gonna throw the whole vanilla bean in because those pods will naturally come out. I think I'm just gonna do like a half of a bean and then scrape the pods at the very end. But you can also do orange slices. You can do, any kind of a citrus, orange, lemon. You can throw in a cinnamon stick. So of course, lemons. We're going to be using lemons to give it that tartness. I really like my lemons. And again, when you're making these cocktails, it's so important to just go by taste. So for me, I really love it sour. Some of you may prefer it more sweet. So extra lemon on the back end of things is usually what I do. I'll just put in enough lemon to get it tart, and then you can just, squeeze more in as you need. So you'll need sugar and water. And I usually make simple syrup with equal parts sugar and water. So that's how we'll do it tonight. I am going to make a half batch of standard rhubarb simple syrup, and then I'm going to also make a batch with some charred rhubarb. So for our recipe, what we're going to do is we're going to take our sugar and we're going to, I have already put some water in here, and that's about a half cup. So, okay, so we're gonna get the sugar and the water. I'm just gonna get that going at a medium temperature right now while I cut the rhubarb. So I'm gonna do a couple of stalks of rhubarb. And all I'm really doing is I'm cutting them probably about a ½ inch. And I'm just going across a ½ inch. Just about like that size right there. Okay, so you can see we've got it up to a really good boil right now. So I'm gonna reduce my temperature down to probably, I don't know, about medium. I want it to continue to boil for about 15 minutes. But just at a slower boil. The idea is that we're breaking down this raw rhubarb and cooking it through. It's gonna break down, it'll get kind of fibrous. And so you can see already that the rhubarb is starting to break down, and we're trying to reduce that liquid by about half, and it gets to be a little bit more of like syrupy. Okay guys, we are ready. So this is exactly what we want. You can see it's definitely reduced and all of the rhubarb has broken down. Oh, I took my vanilla, ooh, got steamy there. I took my vanilla bean and I scraped the pods out. So now we're going to put this through a fine mesh sieve. Typically, I use this guy over a bowl, but you know what I found tonight that I think is gonna actually work a lot better? I love finding new ways. My husband's 1 cup coffee maker. And so I'm just gonna pour this rhubarb right into here. Oh, look at all those vanilla beans. Oh. So we're just gonna let that strain through. And there is our syrup. So we'll catch it in a little bit. I'm just gonna keep pressing the rhubarb down through that so we can keep the straining going. The important thing to know is you do not discard this delicious rhubarb pulp that you have. Save it, put it in a Tupperware, save it. My son was already like, Mom, oh my gosh, can we put that on pancakes? Top it on vanilla ice cream. So many opportunities to use this. So, oh my gosh, please do not throw that out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off I'm gonna save this pulp for later. We have, oh my gosh, this beautiful syrup right here. And you should let it cool down a little bit, but it's been a day. And so there we have this beautiful, beautiful color of simple syrup. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pour it into my shaker. So like I said, I'm gonna make it 2 ways. I'm gonna make one with gin that I'll give to my husband, which really I might enjoy a couple sips out of. I'm also going to make one with Prosecco because, well, why not? So I have just a little split of Prosecco that I have here. So the way we're gonna do it is I'm gonna cool down my simple syrup. So we're gonna do 3, actually, we're just gonna do 1 part simple syrup, 1 part Prosecco, and then we're gonna do some lemon juice. So I'm gonna add the lemon juice right in. I just juiced probably about a half of a lemon there. Pour that in, get it cold. All right, so like I said, we're going fancy. So about that much. And again, remember, it's to taste. So depending on your day, maybe you need a little bit more of this. Maybe you need a little bit more of this. Maybe you need to have this. You do you. Tonight, I'm gonna do me. So, I'm gonna give that a taste. Like I said, it is totally to taste. So if you feel like you need a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that, take your spoon, drop a little bit more of that simple syrup in, give it a stir, garnish it with a lemon. OMG. So good. All right, I'm gonna go check on our rhubarb that we're charring.